two devices. You can use it for your information or pass it on to people who want more information. Now basically this is what you will get. Alright, the iteracare classic leaflet and the iteracare pro leaflet. And I shall not explain about this, it's in your back office. It's inside there. You can print it out as well. Alright, now what is terahertz energy? We come to the next stage where we are going to talk about terahertz energy. Enough said about the device, because basically what the device is using terahertz energy. If it doesn't use this, then it's a normal device just like the others. Alright, so now let's look at terahertz energy. Now how many of you here are familiar with terahertz energy? Very good. Now I was told here among our accomplished members here, we have got doctors, engineers, scientists, professors. I'm very, very privileged to be here. Alright, so basically let's talk about terahertz energy. If you look on the electromagnetic spectrum, alright, now basically there was a terahertz gap here. Now these are the microwave, this is the infrared on the electromagnetic spectrum. Now before this there was a gap here. People really didn't know how to make use of the energy. It was right in between electronics and photonics or optics. Alright, so then in the last 3 decades people started discovering uses for it. How to use the energy and also how to project the energy and come up with devices with it. Alright, then suddenly it started exploding. Everybody was starting to use. Especially recently, lots more is happening. Right? Now if you look at the electromagnetic spectrum again, if you look at this. Now on this side is electronics. People use these waves for different reasons. Maybe for communication, radio, and then medical X-ray, imaging, fiber optics, and the like. But when you come to terahertz, the terahertz band, what's basically happening is, it is working at the molecular level. It is helping with the molecular vibrations and rotations. Where are they, these molecular vibrations and rotations? They are right in your body, at your cellular level, in your cells. It's helping with your vibrational and rotational forces. Alright, that's number one. Number two, you look at them again. They are also helping you with your intermolecular and intramolecular vibration. Now look at the other rays. They are working, yes, they are helping in other ways. But in this way, at this band, terahertz wave is helping at this range. Alright? And that is why it is helping a lot with health. And people are now discovering how to make use of it. Now, before this, a lot was used in scanning. Alright? Now if you go to the airport, previously you were using X-rays to trace explosives, weapons. Every time you walk through, you're probably using 5 minutes of your life, because X-rays are ionizing, but you don't mind because it's just 5 minutes. Imagine a number of air travels you do and how many 5 minutes you are losing. Alright? Now when you come to terahertz energy, it is non-ionizing, so it is harmless. So and used extensively, and it is tracing even the small things which you are carrying, it can tell you. Right? So please do not try to carry anything which is contraband. It will definitely get you. And I heard that Chennai airport is already using terahertz technology in the airport. Right? Now the other day when I was coming to Bangalore, I had to go through the security 2-3 times. The first time I put all my things in one tray. She went to the security. He said, "Look, can you tell me what is inside?" I said, "I don't know what you are looking for." He said, "Same thing, I do not know what is inside there, because everything is all there but mixed up in one tray." He said, "Can you separate into 2 trays?" So then I put it into 2 trays. Again it goes in, one comes out normally, one comes to the security. Again I go and see him, he looks at me. He looks, he says, "Okay, now mind you take and go," because twice already. Alright? Everything, even my shoe, I had to put it on that. He was showing there's a metal strip in my shoe, right inside, which I didn't know. Alright? So it can tell you what are the things anywhere, everywhere. Terahertz imaging. You cannot run away. Alright? And even in dentistry, people are already using. You look at this from the outside, it looks very normal, very fine. But when you use this energy, you're finding cavities inside. And the doctor knows that they have to do something. Right? And now they're beginning to use it in health. Alright? It's helping with health. Now, how do we harness this health? Okay? We'll look in a while. Now, first of all, some certifications. It is certified and patented by the Chinese Academy of Sciences and Sinochem. Alright? Now, if you look, China is now putting a lot of effort into 6G technology and terahertz technology. They are in the forefront because other people are slow to react to what is, what it holds. They already sent rockets to outer space with 6G and terahertz technology. Alright? They have, put scientists and studies especially for terahertz energy. They assigned people just for terahertz technology. And one such technology is this device. Alright, which is coming out from there. And the producers, the manufacturers are Dishang. It is a reputable company which produces products, and this device is a combination of this technology and this manufacturer. Alright, just to tell you where it's coming from. Okay, and they have got certificates of conformity, they have got certificates, test reports, and they have got compliance information statements. I'm just showing 3, but you can look at the website, you will find many more. Alright, just to tell you what is there. Right. And why do we have to use iteracare? What's so special about this? Why? What is the reason why we are here for this device? That is what we're going to see next. Alright. First of all, this is your skin. Now basically your skin has got 3 layers. Epidermis, dermis, hypodermis. Now before that, the terahertz energy is abundant all around us. It's there. It's also all around in the universe. It's abundant in the universe. And why do we have to use this device? That's the next question. Now what's happening is basically the energy around us is not strong. It's rather weak. That's the first thing. And terahertz energy doesn't travel far. It only travels around 10 meters and then is absorbed by moisture around there because it's easily absorbed by water and moisture. Now other thing is, if you look at this, you have these 3 layers. The first layer, second layer and the third layer. Now this layer contains a lot of water and the blood vessels. So when the terahertz energy penetrates, when it comes down to this area, it is quickly absorbed by this layer. And because it's weak, it finishes there. Alright? So you do not feel the extent of its benefits. Now what's happening is, you look at this. The total thickness of your skin is about 3.1 to 6.3 millimeters from person to person and from parts of the body to parts of the body in different areas. This is the range, the thickness of the skin. Now when you look at the penetration of the normal terahertz wave, it's only about 0.1 to 0.3 millimeters. I explained just now, it stops at the hypodermis level, or some may call it subcutaneous level. Alright? Now what's happening is when you use this iteracare device, it penetrates 20 to 30 centimeters deeper. And when it penetrates 20 to 30 centimeters deeper, that's where you start seeing the effects on the body, on the tissues of the body. Now first we get that right, it's going in 20 to 30 centimeters deep. Now 20 to 30 centimeters is almost like from the back coming to the front. So it's affecting a lot of things. Right? Now let's look at a little bit of why it is helping us. Alright? Now, and why we need to use this iteracare. Let's talk about clusters. Now I can tell you that almost all the water, if not all the water which we are drinking, are in cluster form. I didn't know that. I was drinking water happily until I started looking into what's happening and I discovered a lot of things. Now when I say cluster, I am talking about water clusters, molecules, H2O, which are combining in clusters of 2 molecules, 3 molecules, 4 molecules and beyond. When they combine, they become small clusters, big clusters. Alright? So they become clusters. And almost all of us were drinking water which was in clusters. Because that is how it is coming. Secondly, they did not have the energy which they are supposed to have. Now if you look at a little bit of, I used to wonder why our ancestors, people before us, they didn't have an iteracare machine. They were living healthily. They didn't have the sickness which we have. If somebody had diabetes at that time, definitely somebody who is much richer, had money, would eat more sugar and was having diabetes. It was not the sickness of ordinary people. But now it has become the sickness of ordinary people. I used to wonder. Then I realized. Now people were before this were staying, living along the rivers. That was the mode of transport. Everything was using the river. Water was coming from there. You were bathing in that place. And the water which was coming down was flowing along the river, picking up energy all along the way. It had the minerals which are needed. And when we were drinking that, we were getting the energy from there. Alright? And people, it was able to do what it's supposed to do. It could break the clusters and it was giving energy to the cells. People were healthy. Along the way, in the name of technology, in the name of development, people started going inland. People started building houses, people started building towns, people started building cities. And water was carried through pipes to you. You were building dams, and from the dams you had big pipes, water comes through that to your tap. And when it comes to your tap, the water has lost the energy it had. So now we are drinking water which does not have energy. I will show it to you after this. Alright? So what's happening is now our cells do not have the energy. They need that energy for the rotational, vibrational, intramolecular communication, which do not have. So things were becoming bad. We didn't realize that. We were caught in that progress, which was actually not progress. Our health was slowly going backwards. Now another problem was, when you were younger, you had enzymes which were actually breaking down these clusters. So you didn't feel it. As you grow older, especially after 40 and beyond, you did not have these enzymes. If you had until today, you will be immortal. People will never die. So God has designed such a way where it slowly diminishes. Alright? So what's happening is, slowly you did not have the energy or the ability to break the clusters. So now what happens is, if we need this in cluster form, only about 30 to 50% of the water which you are drinking actually is getting into your cells. Your cells need water, a lot of water to be hydrated. But now, if you drink 1 liter, maybe about 30 to 50% enters the cells, the rest is going to your tummy. Alright? So even people who are drinking a lot, 2 liters, they are finding it that most of it is now in their tummy. So people say, don't drink too much water because it's going to be in the stomach and it's going to pull out your electrolytes from the body. Alright? So that's the reason why they say that. Now what's happening is, when you start using this iteracare, you charge the water or you use it on yourself, it is breaking down your clusters. It breaks the water clusters. Again, about the water clusters, I forgot to inform you. Now the cells, they have a water channel. This water channel controls the intake of water into the cells. There's a controller there. The given name is aquaporin. You can check it out. Aquaporin controls the size of the water intake into the water channel, into the cell. Now if the water clusters are small, they get to go in. If they are big, they do not go in. And the size of that water channel is about 2 nanometers. Or in cluster size, about 4 molecule size clusters. Anything below is going in. Anything above is not going to go in. So this is why people were not getting enough water in spite of drinking water. Imagine those people who are not drinking enough. Even worse. That's why the disease, the problems start aggravating. So what's happening is, when you start using the iteracare, it breaks these water clusters into linear molecules. So they are all now broken down, they are easily accessible into the cells. More than 90% now start going into your cells, hydrating your cells, getting them ready. On top of that, the terahertz energy is compatible to the energy which the cell needs. So the moment you use this, the water is energized, it takes in together with it the energy which the cell needs. So now your cells have two things which they need. First, water into the cells. Second, energy which they need for all their process. And even as I stand and I'm talking, all my cells are vibrating, rotating, they're doing their work. The moment they stop doing that, you're gone. Alright? And you need energy for that. Now normally when you eat good food, you eat natural food, if you watch lots of people who eat lots of vegetable, fruits which are raw, they are very healthy. The reason is because it brings in the energy right to where it is needed. Now what happens is, most of us busy with our work, we're eating cooked food, whatever food is available. Whichever looks nice, whichever is reasonably priced, we're eating that. And most of it doesn't have the energy. So it becomes a continuous process. Alright? So now again, what happens is, when you use this device, it is breaking these water clusters, making them accessible into the cells and giving the energy it wants. Next thing is, it is non-ionizing, which means it does not steal electrons from the atoms and molecules in the tissues of your body. Because if it steals, then you are in trouble again. Now if you look, many people, they take these antioxidants. Agreed? Why do they take these antioxidants? They take all kinds of antioxidants because they believe that they've got lots of free radicals in the body. Now what are free radicals? Free radicals are cells which have lost one electron. Alright, so they have to counter that. So now this is doing is avoiding that. It is non-ionizing, doesn't steal, create problems for you. It is non-invasive. Many people go for surgeries to remove a problem. Now you do not have to do any surgeries for this method. It has got no contact. You don't even touch your body with this device. You don't have to touch. It's all away from you. Right? And it is localized. Localized in a sense that you use it where your problem is. You may have many problems, but there will be some problems which are bigger than the other problems. So you want to get rid of that problem first. Alright? So you are focusing on that problem, relieving that problem, then going on to the next. And you're using the same device. When you use supplementation or medication, you might have different medication for different areas. Alright? Now, even with the very simple, pressure, BP, you have some medication for BP and you have got medication for thinning. Basically the same problem, pressure. You need to thin the blood. But you have two different medications. Agreed? Now with this, you can get that done. Right? Now, the next one is specialized. Specialized in the sense that you only use it for blowing. First, you blow on yourself. Two, you blow onto the water which you need to use. Alright? These are the two things people use. Now when I say blow, there are also people blowing onto oil which they use in the house. I've never mentioned that. I'm mentioning today. The oil which they buy, they charge them, they use, they are saying that the fish which they're frying takes in less oil, takes faster to fry. And it's helping with lots of other things. Because now the clusters, oil clusters are broken as well. The food, especially those which has water in them, vegetables, there are some of them also using. They're energizing them. No problem, it's helping them. As long as there are fluids, there is fluid there, it's going to work. Alright? Now, the next thing. There's a word of caution when you're using this, especially for those who have a lung problem. Especially now, with the COVID-19, the pandemic which has now has become endemic. Lots of people have got chest problems. Now, why I'm saying this? Because people, they are going to be excited and start using everywhere. And the lung is an area where it has to have a little bit more caution. Now what happens is the lungs, when they are recovering, they tend to release an amount of fluid, alright, correlating the amount of improvement. So if you start improving too fast and too soon, lots of fluid are going to come out at one time and you're going to feel suffocation. Right? There are 1 or 2 cases which is happening like that. So you need to advise yourself and also those who are recommending this to, that this can happen. Start slow, gradually build up, especially when it comes to the lungs. Alright? So next thing, if you take a drop of blood and you look under the microscope, I can assure you that almost all of them are going to have this. Because I had this before I started drinking, I tested. Alright? Now what's happening here is, they are in cluster form, they do not have the energy and they do not have the water to hydrate them.